Good day, I'm Lisa Rowe and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, March 19, 2025. The Northwestern Parish's Reliability and Service Improvement Project is at the final stages of approval for contracts, and the details are to be made known in short order. The approximately $28 billion project was first announced in 2022 by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness in response to the worst drought to significantly impact Western parishes that year. Minister with responsibility for water, Matthew Samuda, gave an update during a tour of the Gutters Pipeline project in St. Elizabeth on Friday. He said a full analysis of the infrastructure had been done and the project would consist of 36-inch water mains stretching from Martha Brae in Trelawney to West End, Negril. The terminal reservoirs will also be upgraded.
That will see significant pipeline improvement, removing the pipelines that every once in a while you have a theatrical explosion in front of the Rose Hall area when that line collapses or breaks. It will see water going straight from Martha Brae into the terminal reservoir in St. James, which will create a level of resilience for 2/3 of the population of St. James.
In addition, 24-inch transmission mains will run from Lucy in Hanover to Negril in Westmoreland. This will push 3 million gallons of water from the Great River Transmission in St. James to augment supply from Logwood and Bulstrode in Westmoreland. Prime Minister Holness says this level of investment is a long-term sustainable solution to achieve reliable water supply.
The government strategy to treat with the water situation in Jamaica is, first of all, to focus on the environmental issues, protect the watersheds and the catchment areas so that we continue to have water, both surface water and water underground, which is what we are now harvesting here.
Minister of Energy Darrell Vaz says the country continues to build on significant gains being made to its renewable energy capacity. He reports that at December 2024, Jamaica's renewable energy capacity had reached 188 megawatts, generating over 481,000 megawatt hours annually, accounting for 10% of total electricity production. He also indicates that the Generation Procurement Entity, GPE, has awarded a 99.83 megawatt solar capacity contract to Wigton Energy and Sunterra Energy Jamaica Limited. Both companies have secured their generation licenses, and completion of the project is expected by 2027.
An additional 220 megawatts of utility-scale renewables with storage will be competitively procured in 2025, alongside JPS's replacement of 171.5 megawatts of retiring fossil fuel units using only renewables, which will bring renewables electricity generation close to 48% when the projects are connected to the grid.
Minister Vaz was speaking at a press conference on Tuesday. Also coming out of that meeting is word that negotiations for a new license for the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPSCO, are underway. Energy Minister Darrell Vaz says special focus is being placed on consumer protection and the new license is expected to take effect by 2027.
The ministry has commenced negotiations for a new JPS license, engaging the Inter-American Development Bank to provide international expertise with Jamaicans to benefit. The concerns from the citizenry, and particularly those who were frustrated during and after the passage of Hurricane Beryl, will factor significantly in this process. The OUR is currently providing input on necessary adjustments to the license, so all relevant aspects are covered towards providing a better service to the nation.
In addition, the Ministry and the Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, are reviewing the attendant power billing contract. Once finalized, this will allow self-generators to transfer power usage across multiple locations within their companies on the national grid. The National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, and the Caribbean Cement Company Limited have signed a memorandum of understanding to restore and conserve mangroves through the Adopt a Mangrove initiative. Signed on Tuesday, the public-private partnership will see to the restoration of mangroves in Gallo Point within the Palisadoes Port Royal Protected Area. Chief Executive Officer of NEPA, Leonard Francis, welcomes the joint venture as it coincides with the agency's mantra of sustainable development.
The agency is committed to investing in initiatives that foster partnerships that will ensure sustained efforts to protect, restore, and manage vital ecosystems such as our mangroves.
Managing Director for Caribbean Cement, Jorge Martinez, says the partnership aligns with his organization's ambition of becoming a net zero CO2 company by 2050.
The Adopt a Mangrove program is a perfect fit, as I mentioned, for our water, biodiversity, and air quality management. By encouraging private sector stakeholders and other partners to contribute to the restoration of our mangroves, this initiative directly supports the preservation of vital ecosystems that are crucial for both environmental health and the resilience of our communities.
Mangroves are shrubs and swamps and shoreline areas that play a vital role in protecting coastal areas, enhancing biodiversity, and helping to prevent climate change. And finally, the long-awaited school bus for Little Bay Primary and Infant School in Westmoreland has officially arrived, thanks to a partnership with the Embassy of Japan. The collaboration, which began in February 2023, resulted in the donation of a 26-seater Toyota Coaster bus that is expected to improve students' access to education. Students will now be able to catch the bus at various pickup points. The vehicle was provided through Japan's grant assistance for grassroots human security projects. At the handover ceremony on Monday, Principal of Little Bay Primary and Infant School, Keron King, expressed his gratitude for the donation, noting its positive impact on student performance and attendance.
Usually when it rains, we have our students unable to come attend school, and also important, it will also reduce the cost of transportation for some of our parents. We are extremely appreciative to the Ministry of Education, National Education Trust, the Embassy of Japan for the partnership over the years to ensure that the school bus was donated to the school.
I am proud to say that so far we have provided 15 school buses all over Jamaica. And we will continue to do so in the future.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lisa Rowe. Thanks for watching.